Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dread Street Drive-In. I will be your host today, your dungeon master, your game master, Dim Darkly. And I have four fresh faces here to face the perils that I have in mind. And I would like to introduce them now. W, let's start with you.
Okay, I am not a particularly fresh face, as I did the previous episode. But I am still W. I've been playing RPGs since 2020, I believe, because of the pandemic. I'm most recently Dim Darkly's Dungeon Master in Dungeons & Dragons. And today, I will be playing Flex Armstrong, a knockoff toy from the 1970s that didn't particularly catch on too well. I'm a buff, blonde hair, black eyebrow, black Speedo kind of guy, and constantly flexing and capable of stretching to great lengths. I was Georgie's dad, or not his dad, I was his dad's toy. Although, I mean, they never did a paternity test on that kid. But I was Georgie's dad's favorite toy when he was a kid, because his parents couldn't afford anything better. And when he got old enough and had his own son, he passed me down to Georgie, who loved me at first for a little while, but ultimately got much newer and better and fancier toys that he kind of just cast me aside. So for now, Flex Armstrong is pretty much relegated to sitting on the shelf collecting dust.
I am a fresh face to this group, certainly. I go by rank in Fithian. I've been playing tabletop RPGs since 2015 or 2016, around about there, a few years. My other main campaign with my group of friends is Temple of Elemental Evil, which is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Tonight, I'm going to be playing Boxy, the baby socks clown. He is a very old toy for Georgie. He was a gift on Georgie's first birthday, made up of baby socks and scraps of the blanket they brought him home from the hospital in, and mom's hospital slippers, those kinds of just comfort items have been sewn into this patchwork clown, with kind of creepy stitched features and yarn hands that don't seem to look quite right. And he doesn't have a squeaky nose. His nose is embroidered red knotwork in a big cluster, but his whole head is a large squeaky ball. So he's got a type of squeak that he can make with this big bulbous head he has.
Love it.
Hi there, I am Dorium. I've been playing tabletop role RPGs for probably about 8 years, starting with a system that was that's really complicated and I won't get into. But I started playing D&D 5e at the beginning of the pandemic, and then started playing Kids on Bikes about 2 months ago. I am going to be playing Phineas Ferbert, aka Finn the Ferb. Finn is a small mechanical robot thing that speaks a language specific to them, but is often known to be a good luck charm for his child, for Georgie. Finn is a model student, and everything a child should grow up to be should they live the exact perfect picket fence life. I'm looking forward to getting really silly.
Hey, I'm Billy. I am playing Giggle Me Groucho. You can maybe guess what that's a take on. I've been playing tabletop RPGs for many years, since I was a teenager. all sorts of different systems, and the Kids on Bikes system is proving to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it tonight. Giggle Me Groucho, I'm picturing as a children's toy based on a beloved child's television show that was all the rage, the hot Christmas toy in the mid-90s, who's been passed around from child to child, yard sale to yard sale, and has sort of found himself towards the end of his life, maybe purchased by a great aunt at a yard sale and given to Georgie when he was younger. Giggle Me Groucho's fur is falling out. He's kind of decrepit looking, maybe an eyeball's coming a little bit loose. And he spends his time sort of hiding towards the back of the toy box, hoping to not be noticed for fear of finally being thrown away for good.
No.
Yeah, but he has a voice box that has, beloved phrases that made him the rage back in the day that's now begun to malfunction. So we'll see if that comes into play tonight.
You are all toys belonging to a little boy named Georgie. Georgie has a shock of red hair, freckles, and he is adorable. He's 8 years old, and he decided that all of you today should come with him to his show and tell. He knows there's only one toy allowed, or one thing allowed, but he wants to bring you all. So he brings you all in his backpack.
That's sweet.
So he goes to the front of the class and he pulls you all out. This is Giggle Me Groucho, and how you were one of his oldest toys and he still plays with you. And he says sometimes he can be grouchy, but if you're nice to him, he's okay. And he gives you a big hug. This is Boxy.
I love this kid.
This is Boxy, and he picks it up. He goes, my Meemaw, who made her, passed away, unfortunately, but before she did, she made me Boxy. And these are my little baby feet. And he points to the socks for the head, and he points to the nose, and he goes, Boxy's my oldest friend. And he gives you a big hug, and he puts you back in the bag. He pulls out Finn the Ferb, and he goes, this is one of my newer toys. This guy's fun. He actually says a bunch of funny stuff, and let's try it out right now. And he goes and he presses a button on you.
What we talk Howloo.
In Finn the Furbian, I think that means he loves me, which I'm pretty cool with. And he gives you a little kiss on the forehead, and he puts you back in there. And lastly, he pulls out Flex Armstrong. He says, this is my dad's favorite toy, and now he is one of my favorite toys too. Watch this. And he pulls your arms and he swings you around. Woo! He goes, he's really fun. You can beat him up and he keeps coming back. And he goes and he gives you a big hug, and like he takes your arms and he stretches you around so you hug him completely. And he puts you back in the backpack. And then the rest of the day goes on. And he puts you guys in the backpack, and you were next to each other, and you're in the backpack. You have a notebook or some pencils, some crayons, some things like that around you. And you hear the normal steps of the day. The whole class claps when he gets done, and you hear him have lunch with some of his friends, and they talk about how cool some of his toys are. And then it's about time to go outside for a little recreation. So he takes you with him because he knows you're there. You're his most precious item. So he takes you in the yard with him. He's running around. You guys can hear him. And you hear, within a few moments, the sounds of an ice cream truck. Everybody knows the sound. Hot summer days. Kids love, Rocket Pops, those terrible Spider-Man ice creams that the eyes are never straight. They're just black marbles staring into your soul as you digest their face. And he walks over there, and you hear the voice of a man say, well, hey, what can I get you, little fella? And he goes, oh, I'll take a Rocket Pop. He reaches into the backpack. He pulls out this little zippy thing, and he puts his hand into the little pocket and pulls out a couple bucks, zips it back up. He zips back the backpack about 3/4 of the way, so there's a little light left. And all of you can kind of see through the slit that there's an ice cream truck it looks a little dirty. It looks a little older. There's some rust. It doesn't look as inviting to you as it might be to a hungry, sugar-addicted young child. Within a few moments, he receives his ice cream, and then you see him fall. You see the backpack hit the ground. Georgie, you don't hear any noises from him, and then you feel rough hands grab him in the backpack, and you hear a door close and an engine rev.
Is there ice cream truck music playing?
No.
Okay.
After half an hour, you feel yourselves get slammed down on a hard surface, and you hear dragging. You hear banging, clattering, and all sorts of noises that you don't understand where they're coming from before you hear stomping going upstairs and a door closing.
I think we're finally home.
You know, those kids were talking about me when they were talking about really cool toys. I'm sure Georgie will tell us all about it.
Yeah.
Is this still part of the show and tell?
See, are we home? Can we get out? You hear anything?
Foxy would go up to the zipper, right? Like, get as close up there to the opening as he could and look out and see what he can see.
So, yeah, and the backpack is only 3/4 of the way zipped, in his young haste and the proposition of ice cream. He didn't zip it back all the way. You look through the slit, and you see something very different than what home looks like. The backpack has been placed on top of a table, and in front of this table, you see TVs. Lots and lots of TVs. And on these TVs are pictures of rooms that look dark. You can give, if you want to get a little closer, anybody wants to get a little closer, maybe you can take a look at the TVs, but right now all you see is just some images on some TVs on a steel table that you are placed on.
Uh-oh, Georgie's not supposed to be watching TV right after school. He's gonna get in trouble.
Is Georgie out there?
Oh, and
Georgie
yeah,
out there?
Boxy has like a clown voice, but because he is a little bit of a stitched together monstrosity full of like baby fluids,
his voice is like a zombie, like a scratchy.
I love it.
It's not home out there. I don't know where we are. Something's not right. Where's Georgie?
Oh God. As if this day wasn't long enough.
Foxy's very afraid. He would move away from the opening, by the way. He does not want to, I don't know, he's not feeling steel table land.
I think Groucho would head towards the zipper, sort of a little bit put out to not be home in the toy box where he can rest, and sort of wanting to figure out what the hell's going on so that he can get home.
Okay. As you put your little hand through the zipper, you push it up because you're one of the bigger toys in here. And you walk through and you are standing on top of a steel table. As you look around, it's dark. The light from several TV monitors are shining to light up the table, and a little bit behind you can't tell really where you're at. And on these TVs, you see things like a workshop with several different tools, hand tools and hammers. You see saws, you see nails, you see paint, you see all sorts of stuff. In addition to that, you see another room that has a bunch of white sheets covering what looks like furniture. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's a bunch of white sheets covering something. And there are several things in that room being covered. You see a bedroom that looks like a little boy's bedroom with a race car bed. The last room is the most shocking to you. You see little Georgie in a room on top of a dirty mattress with a chain wrapped around his leg with a big lock, and that chain is anchored to the wall. And
All
he's
right.
still unconscious. He's laying down.
I'll say, what the hell? Guys, come look at this.
You really shouldn't use words like hell. You should say,
And-
what the heck?
Thank you. Yeah, my point exactly. Don't forget your language.
To which
Oh, I'm sorry.
To which
What
Finn's
the heck?
eyes do like this big,
Dumbass.
like, at the same time, blink down twice, and like you can see the irises kind of like dilate really big as he looks out as he looks out of the backpack. Oh, that looks like Georgie. I didn't know Georgie was on TB.
If I heard them say that he was on TV, that might be a little concerning, but I'd want to get a look at Georgie. But honestly, I think if I saw him like that, I think Boxy would like probably sit down and cry. Like, you know.
Flex is still in the backpack. He has not been listening to the others. Instead, he is standing there, posing and flexing, doing a lot of Hulk Hogan muscle flexes.
Are his arms flabby from use? Like his arms are a little
Oh yeah,
not as elastic.
they jiggle when he tries to make muscles.
I think Groucho would say, Oi, Flex, get out of here. Look at this.
And Flex will very athletically hop out of the backpack. And I'll look to Groucho and say, "What's up?"
What do you make of that? Groucho will point towards Georgie on the TV monitor.
What do you mean? What do I make of that? Little kid's all tuckered out after school.
Oh, you failed to notice the chain on his leg.
Oh, maybe he's trying to build up muscle.
Supposed to be after school.
Groucho will just sort of face palm. Don't you get it? He's been abducted.
Abducted? Abducted by who?
I don't know.
I mean, he's in a bedroom, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's not his bedroom.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah, we do. We know what his bedroom looks like.
Well, maybe he has a second bedroom and he's just taking us to this.
What makes you think that?
Well, you think he would have said something if he was abducted, wouldn't you? And besides, who would want to take a little boy?
You see little Georgie on the camera begin to stir into consciousness. He goes,
See,
Mom?
he's perfectly fine.
Mom, Dad? And you see a microphone on a stand that is next to you. Noise is coming out.
I just picture Boxy's like squeaky ball head just heaving as he sobs.
We get to him. We gotta try some of these doors, right?
We gotta find the door that leads out of here.
Ooh.
The microphone that is in this room,
Yeah, that's
is it one of those that you have to like push a button and then talk into it? Or is it just like a talk into it?
Absolutely. It's you push a button and talk into it.
Well, friends, if
Oh.
one of you can just plop down on that button there, I can talk to Georgie. And I'm gonna make my way out of the backpack if I'm able, and start talking gibberish or outside of it in Furbian.
Yeah. Furby motility was not its like main. They were not very dexterous toys, the Furbies.
We are not
Notoriously
dexterous. We
undexterous.
we are talky and annoying, but we are successful. We left a I don't know why I'm saying it this way. They left an impression.
Your mark.
We left an impression for the world on
Oh my God,
forever and
fucking the
ever and
voice.
ever.
Capitalism is great. We got Furbies out of it.
I played an RPG in 2023, and now I talk like this forever.
The wheel trick is getting everybody to talk like this until by the end of the episode. But yeah, so I would like to
I think it's
attempt
already
to engage with the microphone and speak into it. And then yeah.
You walk over to it and you try to figure it out, and you accidentally put your foot on the button, and then you hear and no more noise.
Yeah, so as I walk over it and like manage to like land one of my furry green feet on it, I hear the silence go off and wait just a moment of like pure silence, and then Unibudu, which apparently is Furbian for how are you? How are you?
You see Georgie's eyes just frantically look for you. He pulls up the blanket and throws it aside, and you see that there's blood on the blanket. He might have not noticed it, but it's glaringly obvious where you're at. And he goes, Where are you? Where are you? Finn, where are you?
So not realizing that my foot is still on the switch, in whatever Furby speak that Georgie hears, I turn back to everyone else and say, "Oh no, guys! He's got blood all over himself. We should. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's really not good."
Georgie!
Do we know it's his blood? Maybe he beat up some guy.
Boxy is beside himself, and he is going to walk. He's gonna walk probably straight off the table and like do like I mean, he weighs next to nothing, so I think except for that of his head hitting the ground, he's just gonna walk right off the edge of the table.
Oh no!
Try to get to the monitor.
Boxy!
Try to get to the door.
You walk right off the table, and you're a light toy, so you just hit down. Georgie's accidentally thrown you harder than that, so you fall maybe 3 feet to the ground and just bounce harmlessly.
Finn is going to approach Flex. Mr. Flex, can you help me get down so I can go help Boxy?
I would like to grab him, and Flex is a fairly strong toy, so I imagine I can actually carry him. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I would like to stretch my arms or elongate my arms to lower him.
Oh.
So you go to grab him, you put your hands on him, and you hold his hands, and you begin to lower him down. You realize though that you are not really anchored to anything, and you underestimated how heavy he was, so you both go tumbling to the ground.
That makes sense. He's probably heavier than me.
And you both.
And I think Groucho would just try to climb down to join the rest of them down on the ground.
You look, you see the chair, you jump down to the chair, it spins around, and you just kind of flop off from there harmlessly to the ground. And you're all on the ground in this dark room. You see the light of a surge protector.
But don't worry, and he blinks down real fast, and his eyes open up, and like there's like little gems inside, like have like this little glow in the dark essence to them, so his eyes glow because this kind of toy isn't terrifying enough. Don't worry, I got it.
It's made of radium.
As he walks in front, you can't help but notice the toxic tag, the tag that says recall. That's like a radioactive warning on it.
There's a reason that they got me for the price that they got me.
Like the other toys at the water cooler is like,
Yeah, Flynn's pretty cool and everything, but he makes my molars hurt. Does that make sense?
Wait, you have molars?
Ew, what if my baby teeth are in the ew? His mom and grandma are totally planning on sewing his baby teeth into, but like there's probably an extra stitches by his belly button. He's got his baby inside.
I fucking hate that.
The idea of a toy clown with molars is pretty rough. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
pretty rough. I'm not.
We
I
all thought
agree.
it was going to be a
100%.
fun, lighthearted horror story.
You are all on the ground,
Mhm.
with Finn leading the way with his glow-in-the-dark eyes. Heroically is waddling from side to side like a penguin as he continues toward the only door he can see with his glow-in-the-dark eyes. It is a normal white door that is just cracked just a little bit, so you can see into another room.
All right, what do we see?
The lights in this room are on. You see several different objects. You can't tell exactly what they are, but they are all covered by white sheets. And these range in size from the size of, I don't know, let's say like a kitchen table to the size of like the length and width of a car. This is a big room, and you see a bunch of these different things with white sheets over them.
They're spooky ghosties.
We gotta find the door out.
Yeah, I would.
We gotta find the door to Georgie.
Georgie, what are you gonna do to help Georgie?
What do you mean, what am I gonna do? I flex all my muscles. Start posing again.
You don't get it. You don't get it, do you? We need to get out of here. Whoever took Georgie, what do you think they're gonna do to us when they're done with him? Best case scenario, we end up in a dumpster. More likely, we end up in an incinerator.
They don't have an incinerator here.
Look at this room. This is the exact kind of place that would have an incinerator.
They don't have an incinerator in the ghost room. Don't be silly.
Boxy, the idea that we would leave here without Georgie is so far removed from anything that Boxy even thought he would hear today. Yeah, he's like, he doesn't exist without Georgie as far as he's concerned. So I hear you say that, but I'm probably starting to like toddle around, like look around corners for yeah, I don't know, man. Like if you're not on, I would just start looking for doors.
But
Yeah, 'cause we do
Groucho,
have to find a door.
we're
for
his
Georgie.
favorite toys. We can't just abandon Georgie.
Look, I get it, all right? Georgie's your first kid, right? He's the only one you've ever known. You haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't seen him grow up and forget you and put you in a box and sell you off to someone else. You haven't seen the chaos, the struggles that I've seen. You were loved when you were created. You know how I came into it? That horrible day. The day, that Friday, they called it Black Friday. The chaos of that day, it stayed with me all these years.
Horrid.
Disgusting. Humanity at its worst.
We need to look out for ourselves. That's what we need to do.
As he's speaking, and he's saying this, Boxy, you're toddling toward this white sheet, and you step on it. And you see it begin to shift a little bit. What do you want to do?
Honestly, Boxy is so glad to be scared by whatever's going on under the sheet, because the whole I'm not going to be cool anymore, my kid's going to leave me behind, that is totally the question that is foremost on Boxy's mind nowadays. But if something starts moving under the sheet, I would get very, very frightened. And maybe my little ball head would squeak like in alarm. And then I would just freeze.
Okay. So you freeze, and this sheet begins to slide down off of whatever this was as your foot is on it. It just seems like this is like a very soft silk, sheet. It's very slippery. So
Damn it, Giggles. You scared Boxy.
So you put your foot on it, and you see the sheet begin to slide. As it slides off, it hits the ground, and what you see in front of you, you see a big doll of a boy that looks like he's from the 1930s, with a World War I uniform and like one of those guns that has like the cork in the front with like a little string that comes down. He's wearing this big doll is wearing the fatigues, the green, and the helmet. He has a big smile on his face. As you look closer and you kind of observe what's going on, you see the eyes of the doll dart down to you in panic. Boxy and
Very
Finn. There's going to be... So Boxy and Finn, you both came to the same conclusion. As you take a step back, you are more... As you kind of run away to the corner, you're more able to take in the entire scene before you. The clothes look not perfect. They look kind of handmade. The grass below them is just like the grass you get from Easter, and the hands and face look a little misshapen. It looks like almost like melted wax or rubber, maybe some sort of plastic. And you come to the conclusion at the exact same time as those eyes dart to you and follow you to the corner, that is not a toy. That is someone inside of that toy.
It's a big toy.
Finn initially stops moving, following Toy Story logic, and Uniwe Luniwe, which again is the canon version of saying you should go to sleep now.
If the impression is that this is a child, I think Boxy would be kind of frozen, but not drop prone. Boxy would think for a second and say, "Well, well, I'm your friend Boxy the Clown. What's your name?"
You hear a muffled as you see that the mouth is unable to move.
But no, his batteries are running out.
Groucho's gonna look at Boxy and be like, "What are you doing?"
It's on the character sheet, folks. I'm skilled at comfort.
Mm-hmm.
This is a deeply pained child. Like, maybe my eyes would be casting out furiously at the rest of the party, but I would approach. I'd get closer to the kid. I'd reach out with one of my little pom-pom yarn hands.
Okay. And as one thing you Groucho, as Boxy does say this is a deeply hurt child, you did roll pretty darn high. So as Boxy says that, you look up and you see the child looking at you. And the expression is frozen. It's like a smile, like a kid in like a postcard, you would see like a 1950s postcard. But the eyes are telling you something completely different. And as you look around, as you come to that realization, you see about 15 more sheets covering different things.
I think Groucho's instinct, realizing that this is a child, is going to be kind of to do the exact same thing that Boxy did. I think Groucho's going to turn stiff like a toy, and his internal voice box is going to go, "Yuck, yuck, yuck! Groucho loves you."
Why are you guys acting weird? And Flex is going to walk up to the kid that he doesn't know is a kid. He's going to say, "Hey there, friend. Our child is, well, we think he's been taken. We don't know by who. Have you seen a little boy anywhere?
You see the eyes look down at you and just, they can't speak.
Mr. Flex,
Broken voice box.
I speak fluent mumble. This is a child inside of this box, and I think we should help him get out. There was a kid in the box, or in the big furb. There's a kid in the big furb. We should push him and maybe get him out of the box that the kid's in.
Flex is going to look back at the kid and just stare at him for a moment, and then go stiff and fall over.
Well, shit.
So, Boxy might start getting a little concerned. Like, so I had reached my hand out, but but the child wasn't looking at me, right? So, then Boxy would kind of notice that I don't have his attention. Boxy would notice that all these other silhouettes start moving, and I'd say,
Well, it's like his friends are here, so maybe we should find Georgie.
and kind of start backing out.
Okay. You can see a door that is revealed to the left. You see a door that is directly in front of you. You would have to weave your way through the displays, and there's a door to the right.
Okay. And if everyone was still kind of like prone, I think I'd squeak my head a couple times, like, let's go. And then I would go to I don't know if I'd weave through any tables. If the one to the right is closest, I'd go there.
The one to the left would be the closest to you.
Then left.
Okay.
Groucho will, like, as much as is possible, try to look like an animatronic toy, you know, like a wind-up toy or something. Try to, like, move towards the door as if that's a normal thing for a toy to do.
Are we all standing on that white
Yeah.
white cloth?
Okay. Sure. The white sheet had fallen off of the child, so it's around you for sure.
So seeing the white cloth on the ground, Finn is gonna look around. Oh no, it's beginning. Finn is going to look around.
You screwed yourself over.
I played an RPG in 2023, and I've talked like this ever since. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Finn is gonna look around and look at the other toys who have fallen still, and like being an animatronic toy, he's gonna walk around, like push them onto this, like kind of like nudge them onto this white cloth, and like the entire time he's like mumbling nonsense in Furbian, and then eventually goes to like the loosest part, well, I guess not the loosest, but the front part of the cloth, and begin dragging it with one foot behind him, and bringing the toys over to the door on the far side.
Okay. So you're gonna weave your way through the toys.
Mr. Boxy, which door do we want to go to?
Boxy was heading to the left, and I'd probably just like wave or gesture this way, because I don't know if I'd want to do any like weaving.
Sure.
Yeah, so you go, left we go, and then proceeds to walk that direction.
I almost imagine him saying, "Hi, whoa,
Hi, whoa, hi, whoa.
Well, we go
To the left we go. Boop, 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 boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Love it. You pull him to the left, and this door unfortunately is not locked, but it is there is a accessible handle that is maybe 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
That's pretty low for a handle.
Okay, I don't actually, let me look at my door. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, that's great for us.
There's a
About
handle.
half
Well,
of what I
hold
would
on. Yeah, hold on. The wife looked at my door, and now
For
I have
real,
a
Alice in
I have a
Wonderland asked where they put
recalculation.
in these murder dungeons.
Yeah.
I have a recalculation. It is you look up at the handle, and the handle is about 4 feet off the ground.
It's a high handle.
It is not one of those handles that you like where you twist it. It's one of the ones where you just have to pull it down.
Like a lever.
Hmm.
Flex will attempt to stretch his arm up and grab it.
Okay. Give me a brawn check.
Sure. Wow.
Oof.
You are about 3 inches too short. You unfortunately you can't get up there, but maybe with a little bit of help from someone else you can get up there.
You can stand on my head.
Groucho will climb underneath Boxy and lift Boxy up above his head too. Groucho's kind of a bigger, fluffy toy.
Probably a sturdier choice.
I will step on Boxy's head in the hopes that it will indent and squeak the entire time I'm doing it.
Oh, I didn't really consider that. Sorry.
As you grab the handle, the lever handle, you pull it down and the door swings open. As the door swings open, you see a room, which is like a workshop. You see several tools on tables. You see saws. You see screwdrivers. You see Phillips heads. You see drills. You see measuring tools. You see paint. You see jigsaws. You see everything someone would need to make almost anything. And you see a shower, an odd shower-looking area in the corner, and you see a vat to one side with some sort of bubbling on a burner with some sort of bubbling substance in it that you can't tell what it is, but if you can smell, let's assume you can, it smells very acrylic, very plasticky, kind of rubbery, sort of artificial smell. And there is a big metal table in the middle, like what I would equate to like a doctor's office. Lights are all on in this room.
Doesn't look like there's anything good in there.
Yeah.
Let's try a different door.
No Georgie anyway, so yeah, I'm totally on board with that.
Okay.
Sharp
You
things
good?
scare me, and my boy's not here, so.
No exit, so Groucho's not interested.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
So what's the next move?
I proceed to walk everybody down to the white door.
To the right door.
Mhm.
Okay. So you walk to the right door. This door, luckily enough, is open a little bit. So all you have to do is kick against it a little bit and the door opens further.
I start climbing onto Boxy's head.
Well, the door was open beforehand, but that's fine.
Yeah, but Flex is too dumb to notice.
I love it. So you're now on top of Boxy, and as you guys open this door, you see a neat and tidy room. It looks like the room of a young man. There's like a race car bed. There's, posters of things on the wall that would interest a young boy. Things like that. The room is really neat. There's a small closet in one corner. And the only exception to this is that everything is the size of an adult man.
Sorry, I shouldn't have cut you off, but I was gonna say there is a 42-year-old man who sleeps in this bed.
Yep. And and you see a vanity mirror with different paints and makeups on it. And the sheets are hanging down to the floor. They are we'll say cartoon sheets with some sort of cartoon on it. They look like maybe they've been stitched together out of several smaller sheets.
They are all of the lineages of Furbs from many decades past. I see all of my ancestors in this sheet.
Yeah. Boxy's got this very uncanny valley reaction. Like he's very like, oh, this is nice, but there's something it doesn't feel quite right. But I think I'd like this kid. I think I'd like this kid.
Flex is going to climb onto the race car bed. I assume it's not too high up. And I'll say to the others, this is perfect. We find Georgie, we get him on this car, and we'll drive our way out of here.
Drive our way home. Oof.
As you make your way on top of the bed,
Definite maybe.
as you are on top of the bed, you look around and you look to the closet, and suddenly it's like a double slotted closet. You see something move in the shadows of the closet, and then you see the door rattle. And only you see this because you're so high up there. Mr. Armstrong.
I look down over the side of the bed at the others, and I start frantically waving my arms around and pointing.
What's he doing?
He's being a wacky, wavable, inflatable, arm flailing tube man. Fuck, that was hard to say.
I point by flexing and pointing that way.
Yeah, which... Do I see anything in the direction that he's pointing?
You see a closet with two doors closed, and you see, for a moment, you see the closet, like, shifted, or not the closet itself shifted move, but you see the doors kind of jiggle a little bit.
Boxy would freeze and plop down to his butt.
Flex, we ain't got time for all this, mate. We need to get out of here.
And I whisper, shout down, I know that, but I can't find the keys.
For not the first time today, Groucho will facepalm again.
I am trying to think of the version of my voice I'd be using to, you know what Boxy would say? Boxy would say, that's not Georgie, is it? Because if it's a kid, he'll hear me. But if it's a grown-up, I don't know what'll happen.
You get no reaction from the closet.
Well, I think it's time my friends went and found the room that Georgie's in.
The closet jiggles just a little bit.
Do we notice this? Finn and Groucho notice this yet?
Mm-hmm. Now it's visible to everyone.
I think Groucho will fall over. Oh, yuck! Sharing's caring.
Okay. What's this creep doing in the closet? Okay.
Flynn, can you see what's in the closet?
Finn's eyes blink down again, and then they hyper focus onto what's in the closet. They hyper focus onto what's in the closet, and
Boxy would maybe push and like steer you a little bit, but still be kind of like walking sideways out.
And I try and make out what's inside more clearly.
As you walk by, you see a shade. The shade move up just for a moment, like because this is what the slotted ones, like in Michael Myers, the first Halloween. Love those. And you see a plastic, toyish eye look at you for a moment before the slot closes, and then it jiggles a little again.
Toy-ish?
Toy, yeah, T-O-Y, not B-O-Y, T-O-Y. Non-organic.
I'm just not looking to make new friends right now, I would keep that backing and sidling. How are Groucho and Flex doing? Are they catatonic or are they following?
Flex?
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. After you.
Not it.
He did say
Okay.
not it.
Okay.
He did say not it.
He did say not it. All right, you got
The
it.
unbreakable rule, man.
Yeah, it really is. Okay.
Cool.
I think Groucho seeing Boxy moving would sort of in the same way try to move in a way that could be perceived as like a way a toy could move.
Sure. Doing the like.
And Flex is going to hurl his body off the bed.
Okay.
I'm made of rubber. I'll be fine.
Yeah. You hurl your body off the bed. You flip flop on the ground once or twice.
If anything, there's gonna be a good noise when you hit and then bounce back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, a blonk blonk.
Guys, I think it was out of gas.
That's probably it.
You see the closet door open just a little bit, and you see a teddy bear peek his eye out from around the corner.
Hi there, buddy. What's your name? I'm Finn. We're looking for our boy.
You see this teddy bear walk out, and this teddy bear's head has been ripped off, and he is now carrying his head at chest level.
Oh.
What color is this bear?
This bear is brown.
Okay. And I turn to the others. I say, guys, I heard on the TV when Georgie was watching it once. It said what to do if you find a bear. It said brown attack, black lay down. So go get him, Giggles.
And I'll walk. Giggle me Groucho will walk forward towards the bear and say, "Oh, you've been through it too, eh, brother?"
He looks down to the ground. He says, "My boy was taken. They took Frankie, and Frankie, I love Frankie. And then the big man took me and he ripped me up and he put me in the room with the rest of us." And he points with one paw to the room, and in this room you see a dozen broken toys, handheld things, cracked, broken. You see video games try to come to life and try to light up, but their batteries have been long dead and their screens broken. You see several other stuffed toys that have been mangled beyond recognition. They are unable to speak or move. He seems like he got the best of it.
And so Groucho's gonna turn towards Finn and Boxy and Flex and say, "You see, this is what I've been saying. We need to get out of here while we can, or this is what is gonna happen to each one of us."
This isn't at all what you've been saying. There's no incinerator in here.
You're starting to sound like me, Mr. Groucho.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what Finn said.
It was actually Dorian saying that you're starting to sound like me when you talk.
You are a little bit. It's like it's an increasing. I keep
Slowly.
I'm starting to sound like what?
You're starting to sound like Finn.
You're starting to talk like this.
The more you speak,
Am I?
you are 100%.
100%.
Absolutely.
I get, dude. Oh my god, it's so fun. I just can't. I'm falling into it. I can't.
I almost did it in the teddy bear voice, but I had to like give myself a moment to get
to
out
reset.
Of it.
20,
like what? Did you spend a
23.
semester abroad in Furby Land? Come on.
Yeah, I played an RPG and now I talk like this.
No, I don't like it.
The teddy bear goes. He looks at.
Hold on, let me say it again then. If I
Okay.
did I sound like Finn when I said that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let me say it again then. Let me try to find my weird Cockney British thing or whatever I was doing.
Oh
okay.
yeah, because sort of yeah.
You see, this is what I've been saying. We gotta get out of here right now, or this is what's gonna happen to each of us.
This isn't at all what you've been saying. There's no incinerator in there. And damn it, Giggles, listen to me. That kid would kill for you. So you better do the same for that kid in there.
Oh, sure, he'd kill for me. Sure, that's what you say.
I've seen him
Yeah.
stomp ants.
Yeah, Boxy's probably just about crying again. Because this is like this sucks so bad to witness. So I'd definitely
As Boxy starts to cry, the teddy bear walks towards you. He's a big teddy bear. He's sort of looming. He takes his head on one side. He puts his arm. He bends down on his knees and he bends towards you. He takes his other arm and he puts it around you and he pats your head. He goes, "There, it's gonna be okay."
I put my hands up in karate motions when he comes near, just to get ready.
So just let old Boxy know if you want a charm roll for this at any point. But I think Boxy would say,
I'm really sorry about what happened to your kid, and I'm sorry about what happened to all your friends, but I think I can get my boy out. Do you know where they are? Do you know which way they are? His name is Georgie.
Oh, he gives you. He puts his head down to the side. He gives you a big hug with both arms, and you see like a little nightlight heart like shine in his chest. He goes, "Well, it's all gonna be okay. I lost my boy Frankie, but the key is in this room." And he points to it, the room that you guys didn't go into. He goes, "There's a key that he keeps, up high, and if you can, maybe we can all get it, and we could get your Georgie out. Maybe we could find Frankie. Let's do it. Maybe we can find Frankie."
It's worth a try.
Did Frankie go missing there, Bear?
I don't know. I've been in the dark crying for so long. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Go find our boys.
Yeah.
Giggles, you're coming too. Or I'm gonna take your batteries out, I swear to God.
We can keep them in my tummy.
Rattle it around with the teeth.
And I think Groucho is going to look at the teddy bear talking about how he lost his boy, and that's gonna kind of touch him a little bit, and he's gonna say, "All right, look, I'll help you look for Georgie, but if it gets bad, I'm out of here, okay?"
Teddy takes his head and he takes his head and he throws it outside, and it looks around and he goes, "Okay, coast is clear." And he starts walking
Teddy.
out. And he grabs back his head, and then he holds his head like a comfort blanket. Like, that's the way to think about it. Like, he's holding it kind of like a comforting thing.
He's dragging it by the ear or something.
Yeah, he's dragging it by the ear behind him, and he walks in the big room. This is the room you guys saw, the workshop with all of the tools and things. The large metal table, the vat of some sort of something boiling, and he points up high on top of one of the workbenches. And he says,
See, I was so excited when we got to leave this room the first time. I just, okay, all right.
And as Flex is following, I have both hands on the sides of my head, like trying to see if I can do the same thing, and getting frustrated that I can't take my head off.
He points to the key, a ring of keys on a hook that is on top of one of the workbenches. He goes, "That's where his keys are."
Can Flex Armstrong pull his head and have his neck stretch so far that even he cannot stretch far enough to pull it? Like, can a Flex Armstrong stretch his neck?
Oh, kind of Flex
so
Armstrong
so
flex,
far
or
that
Flex
he can pull it off.
Armstrong can flex, is what you're saying.
I'll give you maybe a foot on each appendage. This workbench is at least 4 feet to 4.5 feet off the ground. There are stools all around. There is a stool right next to the metal table. Basically, imagine this room as maybe like a 20 by 20 room, big table in the middle, a pot of some sort of with a boiler below it, boiling in the corner. There's a little emergency shower on the right. There are tools all around, and there are benches right below the tools that are hung up on, the whatever they call those plexi boards or whatever on the walls. And everything looks to be pretty pristine. I'll say that when you come in here, it looks to be nice and clean.
So you know what to do. Start climbing on top of his head.
Yeah, maybe we'd sit on like Groucho and or Finn's shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay. So I won't have you roll for this. You just do this. It's so you guys make a kind of a pyramid-y situation. You see Teddy get below on the very bottom person, and he like sets up and like he.
We gotta get NPC Teddy in on this human pyramid thing.
He gets you guys a little higher, and you get on top of this workbench, and it's clean. It's beautiful. You take a moment to look around. There are various tools around, and you look over to the right, and you see that metal table. You notice something different about that metal table. It looks like it's made for a child to fit inside of it, almost like a mold. The keys are maybe a foot and a half above your head on a link, on a little hook.
Don't love that.
Is this a foot and a half above the pyramid we made, or?
Well, you're on top of the workbench now. So you've made yourself. So you got yourself on top of the workbench. So you're looking down at everybody, and you have a higher view than everybody, and you see the keys a foot and a half above you on the hook.
Okay, and am I fully elongated at this point, legs and arms?
Yes, you are. Yeah. So you are able to stretch your legs, you stretch your arms, and you're almost touching it. You can grab maybe there might be a tool or something around you can use to try to get that extra few inches.
Is there a hammer around anywhere?
There is. Yeah, there's a hammer right next to you.
I would like to grab the hammer and attempt to wedge it into the wall.
Sure. Yeah. And as you do that, you knock over a few different small tools and things like that, screwdrivers.
That's okay. Flex doesn't care.
You smack it against the plywood, and then you're able to. It stays in there, and you're able to precariously make your way on top of there. You stretch out the whole way. Your fingers are right there next to the keys, and then suddenly, as your fingers literally touch the keys, you hear a door upstairs open. Heavy feet begin to walk downstairs.
I swipe the keys as fast as I can.
You perform well under pressure. You get up there, you grab those keys, you knock them off to the ground. They fall right next to your companions. Now, there around you guys, there's a tool bench that has a little crawl space in the bottom. There's the table, which it doesn't have anything covering it, so you would be underneath there. And there is the shower area that has a curtain. It's like a little. I don't know if you've ever been to like a place where they have like the small showers if you deal with like industrial waste and things like that. It's like that. It's like a little. Yeah, exactly. And it has like a little curtain that's already been drawn back.
I think Groucho's going to run to the crawl space by the tool bench.
when the keys hit the floor, Boxy would grab them and stuff them in the loose stitch in his belly button, and then try to roll under the nearest cover, probably that same direction.
Okay.
Flex is going to grab his feet, legs and arms still elongated, so I'm forming one big wheel with my entire body. And I will wheel myself across the room as fast as I can to hide in the shower.
You gotta get some body horror in these spooky RPGs.
All right, Flynn, what you doing, buddy?
So hearing the footsteps coming his way, or this way, Finn is going to like... I'm just going to try and find hiding space. That's the smartest thing. Finn is going to try and hide kind of in plain sight kind of thing. And he's going to look at the group. When I say the word, if things get messy, you know what to do. And I'm going to just hide in plain sight.
Okay. So do you try to find like a dark corner? You try to...
I think I'm just going to like fall over.
Okay. As you fall over, you are in the middle of this pristine room. You fall over. You see Teddy go into a dark corner with his head, and he's trying to like look very small. You hear a man outside the door. He goes, "What happened here?" And he walks over, you hear shuffling of sheets. He goes, "Who's been playing with my toys?" Here's some more shuffling, and then you see the door slam open. For all who are looking, you see a man who is obese. He's about 6'5". His clothes kind of stretch on his body. He has one eye that is it is a wandering eye, and it's his left eye, and it looks kind of always out of place. You know, it's kind of crooked, or maybe it's a fake eye. Who knows? He's wearing a apron that says "Happy Time Ice Cream," and his hair is disheveled. He is a big, hulking, sweating brute. He opens the door aggressively. Right when he is in the room, he looks down. Looks like he's right about to see. He's right about to see the Furby on the ground, and then you hear, "To me," and you see him immediately turns attention over to Teddy. He sees him in the dark corner. He walks over to Teddy. He goes, "What are you doing in here?" And he picks him up with his head, and he rips him in half.
Oh no.
He throws him in the garbage can.
Oh no.
Do you want to take that opportunity to skedaddle there, Finn, or?
Seeing that, Finn lets out this moment of like just shock, and you hear from wherever he's laying on the ground, "Uni aita do," and like just in horror as this man just like tears their new friend apart, like literally in half. And I think that is as he does that, he's trying to give the rest of the group a little bit of cover if they want to attempt to escape.
As you say those words, you see him look over to you on the ground, and a big smile come across his blackened teeth. And his eye, his crooked eye, and begins to straighten as they both look at you. "Where did you come from?" "A new toy to play with." And he begins to walk over thundering steps as he picks you up off the ground and looks at you.
Before he picks him up,
Okay.
Flex would like to start shuffling one side of the shower curtain in hopes of distracting.
Okay. Literally a centimeter. You look at his hands, Finn, as he's reaching down to you. They are rough. They are dirty. They have calluses. They have scrapes. They have cuts that have healed over into scars. And this calloused hand is about to reach for you. It almost touches your beak when he looks over and he sees, or he hears the curtain shuffle. He turns his head to that direction. He straightens up and he begins to walk over that way.
And I would like to hide on the other end of the curtain.
Yeah, and as he turns his attention away, from Finn, Finn is then going to book it out of the way as quickly as he can.
And I'm going to use all 4 of the adversity tokens I have to boost that up a bit.
Okay, perfect. You're lucky you had those. Okay, so you, from the inside of the curtain, you see this hulking black figure begin to walk toward the curtain. You go to step outside to get to the other side, and your foot gets caught on a loose tile. So as he pulls back the curtain, and just by a hair's width, you are able to get behind the curtain so he can't see you. Who's here?
When the man throws open the curtain, Boxy would stay hidden under the tool chest or whatever I rolled under, and start squeaking his head and like to get him back in that other direction. Once Finn is done running, and when the guy's pulling the curtain open, going after Flex, that's when I'd start squeaking.
Okay. He is distracted enough between the two where you're able to find yourself in a dark corner. You waddle for your life. He hears that noise and he goes, "What the hell is going on here? That kid, he must have got out." And he looks over at the ring that had the keys and he goes, "What? No! And he takes the table, he flips it over, and he goes raging outside, and he goes running to you do not know where. But he almost rips the door off of its hinges as he runs.
And so when he flips the table over, that exposes Groucho under there.
Mhm.
But I guess he leaves without seeing him.
Yeah.
And so Groucho's just frozen in terror. And as the door slams, Groucho's voice box will go, "Yuck, yuck! Make sure you brush your teeth every night."
Oh. I think I would toddle out and offer Giggle a Go-Gurt. Go-Gurt's on my character sheet as being on my person. I'm sure it's room temperature at this point.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Giggle will take it and just kind of hold it, not quite knowing what to do with it, but not moving either.
It can be kind of a nice neck pillow if you haven't opened it yet.
There we go.
And yeah, so I've got the keys. I think
this is our only chance. We have to find the room that Georgie's in.
Quickly, waddle for your wives. And then
I'm not married.
no, not your wife, your wife.
I'm not married, I told you.
I just push him.
He said wives. I think he's a polygamist.
And grab him by the ear. We're like, I got my little pom-pom hands. Try to grab. Go.
You all are able to get out of this room, and you see, as you walk out, you see in the corner of the trash can, you see Teddy's head there, still intact. He ripped into his body, and he must have missed the head because it rolled out. And he goes, "Find Georgie, find your boy." And you see him just his eyes go dead, and he lays to the side like a doll.
Oh no!
I have yarn. I was ready to stitch him up, but if I watch the light leave his eyes, I
How
can
big
still
is
leave
how
the
big
corpse
is this
there.
teddy bear head?
Probably about
I
as big as
would
you.
like Flex. Our friend Teddy deserves a new home. Can you put him on me? And I'm gonna ask to put Teddy on my body and use him as cover. So in the event that this big guy shows back up, I just look like a scrap piece of doll of teddy bear.
You should hollow
That's
out the
exactly
head
what
and
I'm
put
doing.
yourself
That's
inside.
exactly what I'm trying to do.
Dude,
Big
that's
Montana
some
is over
fucking
here.
Hannibal Lecter shit.
So Flex is gonna look at Finn and say, "That's absolutely ridiculous. You wouldn't be able to see." So I rip the bear's eyes off so that it makes some eyeballs.
As you rip the bear's eyes off at the same time, Finn
And then I
blinks
put
his
it on.
eyes down and they open up a completely different color. I have X-ray vision. It was the Generation 7 adaptation to our build.
God.
I'm full of teeth, and this is grotesque. If we could move on.
No, it just looks like there's a bear head sliding across the floor.
It certainly
Yeah.
does. Waddling across the floor.
It's super thingy. It's great.
As you walk, the head lifts from side to side.
Nothing falls out.
You
Any
see
Pokemon fans out there? Mimikyu?
Hey,
Pokemon fans? Mimikyu?
And
Anybody?
not only am I a Furby, I am also a teddy bear and a Mimikyu. I'm in for it.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm in.
Don't worry about it.
you gotta be in the know, alright? You're not in the know, you're not in the know, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta put those 400 hours in Pokemon Sword, all right? You gotta put the pedal to the metal on that kind of stuff.
Apparently so.
I don't know if 400 hours is pedal to the metal as much as it is.
It's actually been a
wandering
pretty
around.
chill time, but
Yeah, just kind of hanging out. Yeah, no, I'll defeat those gym leaders, but first, this
I level up every one of my Pokemon so that they're all the same.
this Psyduck beak is delicious.
Anyway, sorry, I can talk about my team all day, but anyway.
So you guys get out the door. There's only one door that was there that is now open. The door is almost torn off its hinges. You see other displays pushed over as this barreling monster headed toward this door. You see a little girl in a dress sitting on a bench surrounded by flowers. Her eyes, she's on the ground, eye level with all of you. You see her looking at you. Her eyes are red and basically what you would assume is crying. You see another little display of a little worker boy who's hammering trying to make a bird box. The bird box is broken, and the boy is shuffled against a wall. His eyes meet yours are pushed against a wall. His eyes meet you as well as you waddle across. You head toward the door, and you enter this dark hallway. As you shuffle down this hallway with Finn assuredly in the lead, being basically the scariest thing in here as a teddy bear head with glowing eyes, you guys begin to walk down the hallway, and as you walk, you pass what looks to be a cell, a door with bars on it and a keyhole. You look into this cell, you see no one. You continue to the next cell. You look in, you see no one. You go to the next cell, you look in, and you see someone or something hiding underneath the covers of a dirty mattress.
But we haven't used the... Oh, but he's chained. Okay. I would say I was deciding if I was going to squeak or speak, but I'd say, Georgie?
The figure underneath the blanket pop its head out, and it's little Georgie. And he looks like he's been crying this entire time. His eyes are red, He's been all dirtied up and scuffed up. And he looks at you and he says, Boxy! Boxy! And he holds his arms out for you.
Yeah, I'm running over to get him.
You run over and he grabs you and he holds you close to his chest. At first he tries to get you, and then his chain on his leg pulls against him, and then you make it the rest of the way. He grabs you and he holds you tight.
From inside of the bear head, and in absolute regular spoken English, Finn looks out and says, "Boxy, you're not supposed to talk when you're."
Ben, what are you doing in that head? What are you doing? You guys shouldn't be here. Go, run away.
I would fish the keys out of my belly and just toss them towards the leg irons, but I'd be hugging my boy.
His chin begins to quiver and pucker as his eyes turn red with tears and begin to come down his face. He goes, "No, you need to go. He's not nice. He's not a nice man. You guys need to run away. Run away."
And Flex will step forward and say, "Don't worry, Georgie. I can take him."
Oh,
and I start flexing.
He smiles as a tear falls down the side of his cheek and hits the ground. He goes, "Oh," and his eyes are red and tears fall down his cheeks and hit the ground, and he reactively wipes his nose with box, and he goes, thanks Flex, but I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. I think you guys, I love you guys.
Somebody,
you should go.
Somebody with thumbs, get the keys. Use the keys.
Is Groucho okay? Where's Groucho?
Groucho will kind of shuffle forward a little sheepishly, now feeling quite ashamed of himself for having thought of abandoning Georgie.
So can you talk too?
Yeah.
He reaches out his hand towards you, but he can't quite reach because his leg is shackled, so he puts his hand out towards you.
Groucho will come forward and touch his hand, and he'll say, I'm sorry you're here, Georgie.
You guys gotta go. Get out of here. I saw the other kids as I came in, and I don't know. You guys should be safe. Go get help, or I don't know. I don't want you guys around here when he comes in.
Georgie, we are help.
You hear the door to the hallway slam open.
Uh-oh.
Did you do this? And you hear footsteps. Just thunderous footsteps moving down the hallway. And you hear a fist slam against each cell as he walks down. Georgie picks you all up. He puts you underneath the blanket on the bed, and he puts you down, and as soon as he puts you down, you hear banging on the cell. Georgie turns around terrified and slinks in the corner. Did you do this? How did you get out? Georgie, get out, mister. I don't know what's going on here, but I want to go home. He goes, I'm gonna make you one of my toys. I'm gonna paint you and I'm gonna turn you into, I don't know, a trick-or-treater or something. You're gonna be perfect. Why can't you be happy with that? And he grabs the cell and he begins to rattle the bars. And Georgie just says, I don't want to. And he just begins to cry in the corner. He goes, what did you do with the keys? I don't have the keys. He goes, when I find these keys, work is gonna start. And he goes, turns around, punches the wall as hard as he can. Big dent is left in it, and he begins to walk out, cursing and just cursing up a storm as he leaves.
Whoa.
Georgie takes the blanket off of you guys. More panic, more apparent and clear in his eyes.
Well, that guy's stupid. He thinks you took the key, but we did.
Flex, you're not supposed to talk around the people.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Georgie laughs a little bit and giggles.
Georgie, you know how to use keys, like when your mom isn't home from work on time. Can you unlock yourself?
You need to get into mom's special drink cabinet.
Oh no, Georgie's a latchkey kid.
He's 8.
He's 8. Poor kid.
Georgie,
And he got kidnapped on top of that.
Oof, gives it
He's
up
got
so far.
30-year-old toys and handmade garbage. I don't know.
It's true. I'm just saying, not a lot of attendant parents, 8-year-olds are getting kidnapped. Just saying.
I was gonna say, yeah, he got kidnapped, didn't he? With the danger gone, I would rustle in and hear the teeth clanging against sweet Georgie's little bicuspids, and I would say, as I'm reaching into the loose stitch in my belly button, I'd say, Georgie, you know how to use keys, like when your mom's not home in time from work. You think you could use these keys and unlock yourself?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll try. Yeah. He takes the keys from you, and you see, just for a moment of possible relief across his features, and he goes and he takes a big padlock and he's trying the keys. He finds one, twists it, and it pops open. He goes, okay. Wow.
Good job, Georgie. Good job.
He picks you up at his left arm, and he reaches through the door, and he has the key, and he's reaching through the bar, so he's trying to get it, and suddenly you hear a click. Oh, I think that did it. But I'm scared. I don't want to go out there.
It's okay. Flex said he can drive the car in the next room.
It's true. I just needed the keys and also some gas. Georgie, do you have gasoline?
What if? Do you think the car would work
I don't know,
with
buddy.
batteries?
Sorry. Not on me.
We'll just try.
Um,
Maybe we should try to walk.
I think we should try to either get out of here or try to sneak past, or I don't know, try to stop him. I mean, he's hurting these kids. I don't know. I'm not brave.
That's right. There are other kids in here, huh?
There's like
Georgie.
20 other kids in here.
There's like a lot of other kids in here.
There's dioramas of kids everywhere. The only
a-
ones I showed you were the ones that were turned over that he could
that's
see.
that's a
Georgie,
That's a-
why don't you get out of here and we'll take care of these kids.
Yeah, you know the bus routes,
Let's
don't you,
remember,
Georgie?
no ice cream on the way
Georgie
home.
has to ride the bus. I'm 7 and I ride it all alone.
Yeah. Yo, 7.
No
Yeah,
ice
you
cream on
should
the way
Take
home.
care of yourself. Get on out of here.
Georgie goes, I'll get help, I promise. And then he begins to walk out. He goes, are you guys sure?
Wait,
I don't want to lose you again.
Georgie, run
Georgie.
as fast as you can.
before you go, do us one favor. And then I'll lift the little bear head off of myself and look him dead in the eyes. I couple slow blinks. I need you to dip your pinky in the red goo that you left on the couch and give us really cool war paint, because we're going to save these kids. And he's gonna slam the head back down.
Oh, sure. He reaches down to his ankle, which has a little bit of dried blood and fresh blood on it, and he puts a little mark of his little fingerprint on each one of your foreheads. He goes, I'm gonna get the cops, and I'm gonna be back. I promise. I won't leave you guys.
Good job, Georgie.
And then Georgie sets you guys down inside the door. You see him make his way to a set of stairs, and he begins to walk up the stairs slowly.
Georgie, wait. And Flex
Proceed.
will run over to him.
Yeah, Flex.
Georgie, I've been around a long time. Your dad played with me when he was your age, and he passed me down to you, and for a few years I've just been sitting on the shelf collecting dust. And as bad as this day is gone, it means the world to me that you took me to show and tell. And I may not be your best or favorite toy, but when I get a little quieter, I say, but Giggles wanted to leave you here, and I'm not as bad as him.
You see a look of shock come across Georgie's face, and then a life of, being a latchkey kid, leading a life of more, he had to grow up quick, So he looks over at Groucho, and he looks at you, and he says, "That's okay, I love you all, and I understand." And he turns his back and walks out the door. I'll get cops, I promise. I'll bring the police. And he begins to go up the steps, and you hear the door open and close quietly.
Okay.
We have to help these other children, right? I mean, we should.
And the last we saw the grungy man, he went downstairs, or he also went upstairs?
He didn't go upstairs, but you
did
don't
not go
hear any noises or anything like that right now.
Do we know which door he left from? I assume we do.
He left from the hallway door you were in, and by deduction, basically, I guess you could say by deduction, there's only one door that is closed in this room, and that is the door to his bedroom.
Okay, and I assume if it's a bedroom door, the door opens in rather than out, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm gonna Groucho's gonna turn to Boxy and say, best way for us to help these kids is to get rid of the threat to them. You know what I mean?
Boxy would nod.
We've gotta send them to the nice farm upstate where the goldfish went.
That's right. I think I've got a plan. And I'm gonna Groucho's gonna climb up, or actually he flipped the table over, right? So did all the like tools and torture devices get like strewn about on the ground?
Yeah, there's a box of nails on the ground. There's, super industrial glue. There's sharp objects. I mean, you tell me what you want to find, and that would normally be in a workshop of this capacity, and I'll let you know if it's there.
Flex, if you stretch out real big on the door and trip the man, and then Groucho, you come up behind him and you just choke this guy out, and you just hold him right there, and I'm gonna stare in his eyes, and I'm gonna tell him that he will bow before the Dark Lord, Vindafurb. And then, Boxy, you're gonna open your tummy, and each of us is gonna take a teeth, and we're gonna stab him with the teeth until he bleeds out and dies right there. Then no one will ever mess with our boy ever again.
Wow. Okay.
His teeth are very sharp, I can tell you.
Oh my god!
Groucho's gonna look at Finn with a newfound respect and be like, "Well, all right, that sounds like a plan."
Or we could just whip him and then run away. But the first one sounds better.
Is there an X-Acto knife in this room?
Absolutely.
I look at them, I say, why don't we build on that? Rather than teeth, Groucho, why don't you take this knife, and when I trip him, or even better yet, you could slice the back of his heel when he trips over me, and then Finn, and you can go in and
open his
kill him.
chest and I can kawi ma him from the inside out?
Well, how else are you gonna do it?
Wow. All right, fine.
We need to lure him into the room. Foxy, you could squeak your head.
Okay, so you guys all get into place.
So as we're beginning to do all these numbers, Finn is like calculating the exact location at which this man, based on his height and the height of Flex, where Flex's arms need to be, where his head will fall, where Groucho's teeth will be, how close we have to be. Like he started like commanding this space. Like,
This is how we will finish this job. We will make sure no one ever does something this evil again, and we will not be trifled with.
Finn is fucking hardcore.
I got it. I've got Boxy's moment. When you are, when everybody's in place. So, I think that when everyone's in place in the room and everybody's good to go, Boxy's gonna walk down the hallway, and ahead of him, he's gonna pull from his tummy teeth and throw them like one at a time. So you hear it like just kind of seeing if he can elicit a movement or reaction from whatever room that this guy's in. Yeah, I'm drawing him out with this little skittering pebble noise.
They would also make really good caltrops.
Yeah, I was thinking caltrops too, and then the plan didn't really call for it, but yes, anyway. So yeah, okay. And then as, you know, whenever he appears to me, Boxy would just be kind of standing, the head cocked, like listed to the side a little bit, and would squeak his head and start away.
Wig away, Boxy. Bring him to us.
If he sees the guy.
Okay, you throw down the teeth, and the teeth don't necessarily get a lot of attention because it is it's a little muffled and it's a big room. But you do throw him down on the ground in a very precarious situation. You take a step back. You see he's not coming. You lift your head to the side and you just let out a big like a slow like squeak. And then that seems to have done it. You hear a loud crashing sound in the bedroom. You see the man open the door, and he is now covered in clown makeup on his face. He has this crimson red smile followed by these black decayed teeth. His one eye looks like it's searching another area while his other eye is, because his eyes are crossed. And he just runs out, and as he runs out, Flex puts his arms out, grabs the other side, and he holds strong. He falls down like a sack of potatoes. Yeah, you Flex, and as he hits the ground, you hear a sickening thud as you think he broke his nose.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
Groucho is going to run up with the X-Acto knife and try to run past and slice the Achilles tendons on the backs of his feet.
You run out from behind one of the displays, and you hear the flesh rip as you pull the blade through both of his Achilles tendons. He screams out in pain and rage as he turns around. He sees you and he smacks you with his hand. You fly against the wall. The blade falls to the ground. What the hell is going on?
Look here, bad man.
And in front of him is like Finn at like eye to eye level.
You have made a mistake crossing our boy. He is our wife. He is all we look for in this day. He brings us joy, and you try to take him away from us. And for that, we cannot allow you to continue.
I'm going to peck at his eyes with my beak.
He goes to smash you. You leap toward his eyes. You latch onto his face. Your plastic beak goes into his eye over and over again, returning gore. He screams. He tries to grab you and pull you off, but the blood that you are now slicked with makes it almost impossible. You work your way to the new eye. He screams. He finally grabs you, and he is able to get you off of him. He lays on his stomach and he holds his hands to his eyes.
The left eye is for Georgie. The white eye is for Teddy.
Love it. All right.
Flex runs over to see what's happening, and I look at the guy in his clown makeup, and I look over at Boxy, and I paused for a moment. I look back and forth and say, how do I know which one's the real Boxy?
How do we know which one?
I'm the real Boxy, Flex.
Squeak your head. Oh, thank God. And Flex is going to lunge at the man's face. You said he's still on the ground, right?
He is laying flat on his back with his hands against his both eyes as they've both been pecked out mercilessly from the dark phobia.
I leap up onto his chest and I say, playtime's over. And then I will elongate my arms down his throat to hopefully suffocate him.
This is Flex the Forbidden.
His mouth is open and screaming. You just take your long arms, you begin to work them down his throat. He grabs you, but you grab his tonsil. He begins to cough violently and begins to retch. You stick your arms further and further down his esophagus, and he tries to pull you off, and he's just gagging and throwing up and wet gurgling sounds, and you grab onto something and you hold on. His face begins to turn blue, and then his head lifts to the side after a few moments of his final breath escapes him. You hear sirens outside. Half a dozen police cars pull up to, you hear them outside. You hear sirens, you hear shouting, and you hear a door get kicked in.
And Boxy would yell, "A cab!" and start swinging one of the saws around.
What? What?
This is Foxy
Would yell,
the
"A cab!" and
Breaker.
start
We have been
swinging
a
the saws around on
wizard.
the
We are the cult of animate objects.
New Boxy, bitch! No.
I always imagine Boxy doing the leather face at the end of the first one with the chainsaw. Just like spinning it around, doing a
swinging
chainsaw.
around in the middle of the street.
Yeah, doing a chainsaw dance. And okay, so the door, you hear people rushing in. You do you guys go prone or do you stay how you are? Or do you hide, or what are we doing?
Oh,
here?
go
try
prone.
to sneak out.
Go prone for sure.
Okay, if you everybody goes prone. Okay, except for Mr. Flex
Oh,
there.
if everyone just collapses, then I'll do that too.
Okay, you go prone. Blood. Are your hands still down his throat?
No, I'll retract my
Everyone has
arm.
a
And I'll just go
fetish.
into a...
It just looks like this guy died
Everyone.
choking by sucking up.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Cop comes in. You've seen it once. You've seen it 1,000 times. He
Oh,
choked himself
my
to death
God.
after cutting his Achilles tendons and poking his own eyes out.
Yeah,
These
that
sex
is-
freaks are getting too much. I'm retired.
Yeah, he's got a fucking race car bed. What'd you expect? Of course he's a fucking freak.
On that note, I think as we hear the sirens, everyone follow me, and I'm gonna run to the race car bed and like pretend like we're driving it.
Just for fun. That is that
Did
what
you
we
find
collapse?
gas?
For sure, yeah. That's where you guys all collapse. You're on the head of the bed, and you're all next to each other, covered in different various bits of gore and whatever.
Oh, that's a
Whoever-
good cast pick for the closing too.
Yeah,
All
that is-
falling on the race car sheets.
Yep, and you have Teddy's head right next to you.
Teddy.
We're gonna fast forward a little bit. A lot of things happen. Georgie is safe. He only had a few minor bruises and cuts. You hear through the news that all the children who were encased and turned into toys are actually fine. They were not fine, but they're traumatized, but none of the children were killed. They were all kept as living dolls, basically.
Bad news.
We fast forward many years later. Georgie is getting ready for college. His bright red hair has turned a little more mute. It's not as red and fiery as it used to be. His freckles have faded, and he picks up these boxes and begins to load them in the back of his truck that he's taken to go to college for the first time. He hugs his mom and his dad, and he steps in the front seat. He puts his seatbelt on. He looks to the left where all of you are sitting down, and he goes, "You guys ready? We're going to the next big adventure." And then he begins to start the truck, and you guys begin to drive off.
Yes,
Aw.
my fellowship must grow. College, here we come.
Take it down a notch. Take it down a notch, Finn. No, that's what he says to you. He goes, "Hey, Finn, that's okay." And he puts on some soothing music for you.
Yeah, panpipes or something.
Yeah, he puts on some Celtic panpipes.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
a breeze.
But that's it. I hope you guys had a great time. And thank you everybody for who's listening, who's going to listen to this. We truly appreciate you. And yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Had a great
I
time.
might have to play
Thanks,
this
guys, for
for
being
me
here.
another time in the future.